thing's been going for like 5 minutes now, no, 4 minutes, and still no GPS. Stuck on a 8. I'm at 11 right now, so 11. It's been like 4 minutes. Went back down to 8 again, so 8. Then it went down. Got 9 satellites. Mind you, we're outside too. We're outside. Drone's right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just try to launch it and kind of see if I can get it up in the air, and then probably get some satellites like that, because it's not going past 8 at all. So let's see if that works.
Brings us two together.
Good and win, but damn, that 8 minutes, 7 minutes to turn on though, that thing's a pain, man. I'm not trying to wait 8 minutes to get this thing to go up in the air. Like, that just takes the fun out of having this drone. Like, especially when you know my $1,000 drone does it way faster than this, so it's kind of like, come on. I'm gonna put the footage in and see what it looks like, but I'm already on the fence of just selling this thing. So let's take a look. This 5 to 8 minute wait to get satellites is no good. The only thing I have against this drone, when the Mavic 3 came out, was the flight time. Like, the flight time, I was like, oh man, finally something that lasts us, more than 15-20 minutes. Like, depending on how you fly this thing, you really only get about 20 minutes on it. I don't know how people say they get 25, maybe just, casual, but usually I put this thing in sport. I'm flying it up, flying to each location in sport really fast. I want to shoot, and then trying to bring it back. And by the time I bring this thing back, it's usually at like, 15%. So that was one of the biggest issues that I had with that one, that made me want to buy the new Mavic 3. And the thing about the Mavic 3 is that this thing is huge, man. I didn't know until I got this in my hand, but this thing is huge. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This thing covers my whole face, yo. Compared to this thing, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this. Holy cow, this thing is huge. This thing is huge, and not only that, but as far as like transporting this thing, the Mavic 3's bag is like on a whole nother level. Like, if I was gonna keep this thing, I probably would sell the bag, because that bag is way too big. Like, one, I don't need straps. I commend them for trying to make a backpack too, but it's just the backpack itself, there's no padding inside of it, so I wouldn't really use it to put my laptop in it or to put my camera in there. Like, I wouldn't really use it for any other purpose than just to carry drone stuff in it. So like, maybe, I don't know, I don't even know why they would make like a backpack, like maybe clothes. But I mean, who carries clothes in their drone bag? So I'd rather use my Case Logic bag for that. But yeah, that bag, huge. If you do get the Fly More combo, sell that bag, because there is better bags or better cases on Amazon. And I'll probably put one here that I've seen a review on it, and this thing right here is super compact, comparable to this bag here. This here, I don't know if anybody has any issues with this bag, but this bag here is probably the best design ever. Like, look how small this thing is. This thing could easily find a spot in your camera bag and still be protected with drone. Like, this was a good design. I like this bag, and I wish they would have made a bag similar to this for this drone. Maybe like the Mavic Pro 2. That bag was really nice too. They came with the Fly More combo. It was a little bit taller, but it kind of served the same purpose. It was kind of like this way, you know. And it was a really good bag, leather. So one of the things that this is just a rant about these two drones too. I don't know if I gonna label this thing to put, you know, Mavic 3 versus Air 2S, but another thing that I have is that it's not compatible with the old remote, and that thing just pisses me off, man. Like, how are you not gonna make it comparable to the old, or not the old, but to your, you know, your smart controller? I know you got a new one and it works with that one, but they should be able to give people the option to use it with the old one or the new one. And if you want to get the new one with the new Android 10 on it, and you want to get the new one with the longer range, and you want to get the new one with the longer battery, extra half-an-hour battery, then you have that option. But if I have already the smart controller, and now I had it paired with this, now I have to buy the other smart controller to go with this. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that was kind of a rip-off. Like, now I gotta sell this thing to get the other one, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, if I ever want to go back to using a mini, or if I want to get a mini 2 in the future, like to go traveling, because that was the first one that I had, was a mini 2. If I want to go back to that, then I have to use a mini controller. Like, that was the whole thing about this remote, is that it was compatible with all the drones that are out. Like, I think DJI should give people a chance to, or have the ability to have, you know, to make their choice if they want to use the new RC Pro controller, or if they want to use this one. And they can, you know, weigh out the differences, that, you know, this is not going to give you the longer range, you know, it's going to give you a shorter battery life. But give us the option. You know, there's people that already have this remote and spend, you know, $800 for this remote already. $750 plus the taxes, $800 for this remote. And we don't want to get a $1,200 remote. Like, I fly this thing for real estate, for weddings. I'm not going more than, you know, maybe 1,000 feet away. So I'm not flying my drone, you know, more than a half a mile. I wouldn't even say a mile, but more than half a mile. If I am, I'm doing it for fun, and it's on my time. So, you know, that's a whole different story. But for work, I'm not flying it that far. So I'll be perfectly fine with still using this drone with the Mavic 3, and losing out on, you know, those extra little kinky features like half an hour extra battery, Android 10. I forget what else was it that I seen that the remote. Oh, and then it gives you the longest signal. But if it was brighter than this, then maybe I would have said, okay, that's a big difference too. But it's not. It's the same screen, same brightness. All you're getting is a little bit better battery life, extended range, which the range is already good enough, and Android 10, I guess. You can download apps, which you could download apps on this one too, so that doesn't make any sense. Do I recommend this drone to anybody doing like real estate and weddings? As of right now, I'm gonna say no, to be honest. I think you can get the same quality, or the same video quality out of this thing that you would out of that. I don't think people would know the difference between the two. And my biggest thing with this thing is that GPS signal is just like, that's crucial, man. When you're using these things for work, and you go out to a job and you're waiting 8 minutes before you can fly this thing, or 5 minutes or 3 minutes, it takes away, you know, time is money. It just, one, it doesn't look professional. Like, you put this thing out in front of a client and you're just sitting there waiting with the remote in your hand, and you're trying to, you know, small talk for 5 minutes. They're like, what the hell's going on? Does this guy know how to fly this thing? It just doesn't look good. Like, I go out with this thing here and I put this thing on the ground, it's up in the air in less than a minute, and they're like, wow, and they're like, oh, that looks nice, let me see, can I look on the screen? Or, you know, they're just excited about it. But if I throw this thing on the floor and we're waiting 5 minutes for it to connect, it's just an issue. That's it just doesn't look good to me. That's like, you know, setting up your camera and just sitting there waiting, and you know, clients just looking at you, and you're just like fiddling with your camera for 5 minutes when all the lights are already up, microphones already set up, and you're just fiddling with the camera or standing behind the camera and just looking at somebody like, almost time, almost there. So that definitely needs to be fixed. I think that's one of the biggest things that should be addressed. Like, I know they just came out with a firmware up there, but it still didn't fix it. It still has issues, and I'll probably put some on the display here and I'll try it, but man, this thing takes forever to catch a GPS signal. But once it's in the air, it is stable. So that I'll give it to it. This thing is stable. Like, you can see this thing hovering. This thing is not moving. It's stable as fuck. Oh, it's stable as hell. And you could just see the crispy transition coming back from it. It looks super good. And yeah, that's about it, man. I mean, if you think about it, damn, look at this thing, yo. This thing is so smart, yo. Like, it's just so weird because I'm holding these two in my hand. I'm like, wow, man, this thing is so smart. It just kind of makes me think, like, why did I even buy this thing? It's just so big and bulky, and I'm getting almost the same quality out of this small little thing. It was half the price. So yeah, I mean, you could put it together, the image quality next to each other. You could put low light against each other and say the Mavic 3 is way better than the Air 2S. And you know, you could say this thing lasts longer up in the air. But as far as convenience, like $1,300, 3 batteries, fits in your bag, comes with an already small bag portable, comes with ND filters, and right now they got like this super killer deal where $1,750 you get the smart controller. That's another thing. Where is the bundle for this? Why don't we have a bundle for this, for the Mavic 3 that comes with the smart controller that isn't the Cine version? Like, where is that bundle? That makes no sense to me at all. That this drone right now on B&H and Aberram, I think it's called, or the other website, I don't know what, but that they're running sales for this thing brand new with the RC Pro controller for $1,750. That sale is still going on right now. How is that possible that this thing right now is getting a discount on the new RC Pro controller and this thing is not? Like, this is your new flagship consumer drone and you're not putting out promotions, or there's no promotions with the RC. Like, that is crazy, man. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things why people are buying these things right now. Just because of that. I feel like in the next like month or so, you're gonna start seeing like the used market be flooded with a lot of Mavic 3s. Just for the simple fact that you're not getting the value that you're paying for it, as far as like the time that it's taking to connect to the GPS. If they don't fix that soon, these things are gonna start flooding the market on eBay and, you know, Facebook Market, OfferUp, Craigslist, all them things are gonna start flooding the market. Right now, I see a lot of these right now, and I think everybody's just trying to sell their Air 2S to try this drone out, like to say, hey, you know, let me see if I can get, you know, 1,500, or if I can get, you know, not 1,500, I'm sorry, $1,000 for this. Maybe I could buy the basic version. And I'll be honest right now, I would just wait. Don't spend your money on a Mavic 3 because until they fix that GPS issue, you're kind of just spending your money.